We'll go back to the story on Guinea, where the runner-up Domingos Moes Pereira, whose PAIGC party holds the most seats in parliament, says the inauguration was illegitimate as the Supreme Court is still considering his party's request to annul the vote over alleged irregularities. The Supreme Court has criticized the Electoral Commission for not respecting its orders to conduct a full audit of the vote. It's not clear when the court will rule on the latest PAIGC complaint, which was filed last Wednesday. For more on the story, we are now joined via Skype from Maputo, Mozambique, by Channel Africa Portuguese desk producer Milton Maluleque. Milton, good evening. Thank you for joining us on The Globe.
Good evening, and thank you very much to have me here.
Now, Milton, we're seeing two presidents being installed by different sections, one by parliamentary lawmakers who make up the majority of, parliament, and the other by a former president, whilst in the same breath, there's a Supreme Court challenge. What's the latest with regards to the happenings in Guinea-Bissau?
It's unknown and it's not clear, actually, because the only news that we have is the two presidents and two prime ministers in power, and then we have another one who decided to step down because of his security, including his family, and is not new in Guinea-Bissau. Actually, when he says that he fears that he can be killed, because we saw one of the presidents being killed by soldiers inside the palace years back, and actually, when he says so, is true. The situation is not clear because even the ECOWAS is not saying anything, and the Portuguese bloc also is not saying anything. And the only news that comes out is it's only the politicians accusing each other and taking some steps and not respecting the courts, for example, not respecting even what ECOWAS told them to just wait and to verify the results of the elections. We just saw Umaro Sissoco Embalo deciding to sworn in, and then we saw also the parliament speaker doing the same. But Guinea-Bissau, it's been always like that. The only thing that is new right now is that no one is being killed. That is new. But seeing two MPs at the same time, it's not new, because when Vaz was the president, we just saw a lot of MPs coming in and out, having two at the same time. ECOWAS intervening and then trying to find or to accommodate everybody, and it's what we've been seeing all these years.
Now, Milton, considering the fact that Cassamá was not even on the ballot during that election that took place in December, why the big crisis when it comes to elections and the election results that were rejected by the majority party?
Cassamá wasn't in the ballots, but when you see the constitution of Guinea-Bissau, when the position of the president is vacant, it means that the second in command, that is the speaker, he has to be sworn in as a president. So because now we don't have a confirmation coming out from the Constitution Court saying that Umaro Sissoco Embalo is the winner. That's why when the president Mário Vaz he decided to hand over the power to Umaro Sissoco, for them means that there's no president. That's why Cassamá he had to come in, and then we saw the situation whereby we had two presidents and also two MPs, because the prime minister. The prime minister is from PAIGC. So when he saw the movement of Umaru Sissoco coming in as a president, was the first one saying that there's a coup attack in the country. And then Umaru Sissoco Embalo, because he has the power of putting aside the MPs or even to nominate if he wants, is what we saw. So it happened that we had two MPs, prime ministers and two presidents. And the implications right now is that the crisis, it will be increasing. And we also saw the three wings of the army joining the Umaru Sissoco Embalo because Sissoco is a general. So we now see soldiers in one side and the politicians in the one side. But to understand what is happening in Guinea-Bissau, we have to go back to history. Because Guinea-Bissau is the only country whereby Portugal, honestly speaking, was defeated because in other countries there were negotiations so that Portugal can leave the country, but in Guinea-Bissau was something different. Portugal had to, we can even say, running away from the country.
Now, Milton, when you talk of history, going back to independence from Portugal in 1974, the country during that time, the country has seen or has gone through 9 coups or attempted coups. What does the incumbent president, have to deal with or have to face with regards to ensuring that, that there is peace and stability in Guinea going forward?
Right now, Umaru Sissoco had actually when he was sworn in, we saw the 3 wings of the army there. So which means that they will be backing him. So that for there is safe. We only fear for those who were not backed by the soldiers, because we saw also that he has the blessings of the former president. The former president also, when he was in power, no one was killed, and all soldiers, they were backing him. So which means if you control the soldiers in Guinea-Bissau, you have the power. It's what we've been seeing all those years. It's the same thing that happened with the one of the presidents. The name is not coming now in my mind. That Nino Vieira, yes, Nino Vieira. What happened to him? A chief of staff was killed, and at the same night, the soldiers, they went in to the palace and they killed him with a machete, like they were cutting some animal like that. So which means that if you control the soldiers, you have the full control of the country. Because those...
Milton, the Supreme Court has criticised the Electoral Commission for not respecting its orders to conduct a full audit of the vote. What does this mean going forward for whoever takes over as president with regards to what the Supreme Court decision will be whenever it is finalised?
It will be the same thing that happened in the last time when the president was in power, because we saw a lot of MPs coming in. We saw more than 4 MPs coming in. So which means when the Electoral Code comes in with the saying that this is the real winner of the elections, the other side won't agree with that. And then what we will see, based in the history, will be having this station going forward, and the ECOWAS again will have to come in and find a solution. The solution that one of the sides can just decide not to follow. It's what we've been seeing all those years in Guinea-Bissau, but only we pray that it continues the same way that happened in the last time, whereby no politician was killed.
Now, does ECOWAS still have power with regards to assisting in bringing peace and stability to a country like Guinea?
They do have, because when I was actually answering one of the questions, when I went back to the history, even when Amilcar Cabral was killed, because the real problem in that country is that is divided by soldiers, that the soldiers are real, I can say in this way, they are real Africans, because even if you see the names, the surnames, they are common surnames and names in that bloc. When you see the other politicians, most of them from PAGC, they have names that belongs to Portuguese. That's why they have that fight, because you'll find Balantas and Fulas that there are some clans. They are the same in that region, and a lot of them, they are soldiers. They understand each other. And you'll find the politicians with those Portuguese names, most of them from PAGC, they have this bond with Portugal and other Portuguese-speaking countries. So the fight is about that. That's why you...
We've seen security being beefed up at state installations. Is the expectation that there might be violence flaring up, or is the presence of, security personnel and soldiers that you touched on going to make a difference with the security being beefed up at these installations?
Based in the history, this situation actually can even increase the tension that can lead to war, because we saw that the same situation years back. But also it can prove a point whereby the soldiers, they won't even go back to what they actually we are used to see. So now we don't know clearly what will happen. Only the decisions that the politicians will take will decide if the country will stay peacefully or a civil war again can take place. Now it's very difficult actually to predict what will happen. We only wait and see what will happen after the electoral, the Constitutional Court will actually declare the winner of those elections.
Milton, thank you so much for joining us this evening. There's Channel Africa Portuguese Day's producer, Milton Maluleque, joining us there via Skype.